All right, so Apple released their iPhone 15 and 15 Pro lineups, and both of them have USB-C, which is really awesome for photographers because it opens up all new photo editing and photo management workflows that weren't really available when we had Lightning because it was very slow. With USB-C, we now have all kinds of options. And so for this video, I'm going to show you how you can both back up photos that you took with your camera's SD card to an external SSD drive, as well as how to import them right into Lightroom all on the iPhone. So let's get started. Okay, before we jump into how to do this stuff, let me just show you the hardware that I'm using here. So first you can see this is the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and it is connected via USB-C to this hub. Now this hub is made by Cable Matters, and the reason why I like this hub is because the SD card slot supports UHS 2 cards. Now, basically, the difference between UHS 1 and UHS 2 cards has to do with price, obviously, but also generally, UHS 2 cards are a lot faster. So that's why I got this here. The important thing is if you invest in a UHS 2 SD card, you want to make sure that your reader is capable of supporting UHS 2 speeds because most of these hubs are not. That's an important point. Before you order your hub, look at the fine details, look at the specs, and make sure that the hub actually supports UHS 2 because I'm willing to bet most of them do not. All right, next you can see this white USB-C cable. That's basically just delivering power to the hub. In order to really make the most out of this workflow, the hub itself needs enough power because the phone cannot deliver enough power to do all this stuff well. In fact, if you were to disconnect the power now, this would start to blink and you wouldn't get a proper mount of the drive. So for this particular situation, you'll want to make sure that you have a USB-C cable connected to the power delivery port of your hub, and then the other side will connect to a wall outlet. And then finally, I've got my external SSD drive. It's nothing special. It's just a G Technology SSD drive. I mean, it's several years old. It's 1 terabyte, and it does the job for me when I'm traveling. The important thing here is that this cable is not just a regular USB-C cable. This is a USB-C 3.2 Gen 2 cable. What that means is it's rated for 240 watts of power delivery, as well as 20 gigabits a second of data transfer. I'd be willing to bet that most of your USB-C cables probably are not the 3.2 Gen 2 that support the higher power delivery and data throughput. Even the USB-C cable that Apple bundled with the iPhone 15s are the slower versions of the USB-C format or standard. Now, that's not to say that you need to get these cables. By all means, you will be able to use this entire workflow with your regular USB-C cable. It's just that I want to bring to your attention, just like UHS 2, you don't need a UHS 2 card or card reader, but if you want to get the fastest possible data transfer, those things will help. So that's about it for the hardware. Now let's move on to the actual how-to. All right, so the first thing I want to do now is back up my photos. Before I import them into Lightroom, let's get them onto the SD card so we have two versions, one on the SD card and one on a drive. So to do that, I'm going to use the Files app from Apple here. And you can see all I need to do is tap it. And you'll see now there are two different drives. First, there is Skynet Travel. That is the external SSD drive that I mentioned before. The second is Untitled. That's the SD card. So if I tap on Untitled and then I go into DCIM, which is where the photos are stored, you'll see here is a subfolder that my Sony camera created. And then here are 10 raw files. Now I took all of these files in North Japan in Hokkaido. If I tap on one of them over here and then I tap on the share button, I can show you the EXIF information for that photo right over here. And what I'm looking for is the date taken. So I took this on November 1st, 2020. I want that information because I'm going to use that for the folder structure. So now I'll tap on Done, and then I can tap on Done again. So again, the first thing that I want to do is copy these over to the external SSD. To do that, I just wanted to first show you where the photos are stored. I'm going to go back here to the external drive, and you'll see I have a folder already called Travel Backup. So I'll go in here. And now what I'm going to do is create a new folder by tapping on the ellipse icon and tapping on New Folder. And I'm going to call this 2020 1101 Hokkaido. And then tap Done. So now I have my folder created. Then I'll back out, go back to the SD card where the raw files are stored. I'll tap on the ellipse again and then tap on Select. Now I'm in select mode, and all I need to do is tap on Select All on the top left. And then I will tap on the ellipse on the bottom right and then select copy 10 items. Now these 10 photo files are in the clipboard, so I'll back out and go back to the drive and then into the folder that I created. And then all I need to do now is tap anywhere here and then tap on paste. And now you will see that the raw files are copying over to the external drive. What's cool is you can see that little pie chart on the top right that gives you kind of a progress bar for the copy. So that's pretty cool, right? Like now you have two copies of your photos. You have your original on the SD card and you have a backup on your external drive. Now we can get a third copy by importing it into Lightroom, which if you have an internet connection will be backed up to the cloud, which is probably the best case scenario when you're traveling, is to have some copies locally, but also a copy in the cloud. You just can't get better fault tolerance than that. Before I show you how to do that though, I want to take a quick minute to tell you about my brand new course that is now out called Lightroom Everywhere. So if you're into this stuff, like this whole mobile Lightroom editing workflow, please check the course out. It's got over 40 videos and over 8 hours of easy paced content to help you get the most out of your Lightroom subscription. Again, the link's in the description and your purchase directly helps support my small business and helps me keep making these videos for you. All right, let's get back to it. So now what I want to do is get a copy of those 10 raw files into Lightroom so that they start getting backed up. The first thing that I want to do is create the folder structure for that if I don't already have it. And so you can see in this particular library, I don't have a folder for 2020. So I'm going to tap on Create New and then tap on Folder. Then I'll type 2020 for the year. I'll go into that year. Then I'm going to tap on Create New again and create another folder. Now, the way that I do that is I create a folder for the month. So I'm going to type 11-November and tap OK. And then I'll go in here and tap Create New again. And now I can create the album where the photos will be stored. So I'm going to call this 2020 1101 Hokkaido. And then tap OK. Now I can tap into the album here and I can import the photos. So I can do that one of a few ways, but the easiest way is to tap on the import button, which is to the left of the camera icon in that little blue pill on the bottom right of the screen. I'm going to tap that. If I didn't have the SD card mounted, then I would tap on Files and I would browse to the folder on my external drive here where those raw files are situated. But because I have the SD card mounted, I'll tap on Connected Camera/Card. And there are the 10 photos. So I'll just tap on this checkbox here to select all, and then make sure on the top where it says Add To that the album that I want is selected, which it is. And now I will tap on Import. And now you can see that the photos are copying from the SD card to the iPhone. And then once this is done, Lightroom will start backing up the photos, the original raw files, to the cloud. You can see here is the confirmation that the import's completed. So I'm going to close out of here. And here are the photos. Then I can tap on the cloud icon here and you can see that the upload is starting. And this will take a few minutes depending on the size of the raw files, as well as, of course, how fast your internet speed is. But you can now open any of these photos and start editing. You can go ahead and add a profile if you want. So here I'm just going to choose one of my nature tone profiles. I'll try this one here. That looks pretty cool. Let's add a little bit more strength. Tap on the check mark to commit it. Now we have edited our photo. And the best part is that not only is the photo being backed up, but all of my edits are being backed up as well, so that when I get home or go to another device that's running Lightroom, I'll have all of that information available to me. And so that is how you can use your iPhone 15 or 15 Pro to connect an SD card and an external SSD drive so that you can create backups to the drive and then import those photos from the SD card into Lightroom and then have those backed up to the cloud. I mean, it is a really powerful system. Don't forget, if you want to learn way more, pretty much everything there is to know about Lightroom's cloud-based ecosystem, be sure to check out my course, Lightroom Everywhere. Again, the link is in the description below. And if you want to get some more inspiration about how you can use Lightroom on mobile devices to edit your photos and organize them, check out this video. I'll see you on the next one.